50% would be 70, call it 73 rooms, times $49, okay, times 30. What's that number? So we're at 105,000. So let's say instead of 60,000, now we're at, let's just say 70. What the heck? We're now at $70,000 a month in expenses, and we're clearing $35,000 a month in positive cash flow on this property. Okay? And this is not, ridiculous. This is a real example of what these properties are capable of producing, depending on how you want to run it. So when you start to think about, again, I'm not even expecting to do better than the market. I just want to do what the market's doing. I want to have a room that's at least as nice as the surrounding properties, and what is that going to deliver for me at the bottom line? Yeah.
I've often wondered, you see these small motels, how do they advertise to?
The majority of them is you build it and they will come, right? You put up a sign, you build a hotel. Again, this is not, and they may get some through the national franchise, but generally at this low level, days in, nights in, roadway, these lower level properties, they're not getting bookings online. These are people who are just driving the area, they see the hotel, they know, they recognize it, they want a place to pull off, and they go in. We're not doing any marketing magic here. You will have some people come in and you want to be online and have visibility with all those online travel agents like the Orbitses and the Hotels.com. But the vast majority are coming just from seeing the property, the curb appeal of the property, and they're pulling in and they're coming in this day of the year. So here's why we love hotels. And I know I have 5 minutes here, so I'm going to kind of drag me off the stage here because there's a lot more information. I didn't realize, whatever, this is like an hour presentation. I'll have to compress it, but you can come speak with me afterwards if you have more questions. Multiple streams of cash flow. We got room revenue. Most hotels, some of them have conference rooms like this one, right? We got laundry revenue. We got restaurants that we wouldn't want to run, but we can rent out. We can lease to a operator, a bar, a restaurant operator, and we can generate $2,000 to $5,000 a month of revenue of just leasing out that space. We cut expenses, just like in any real estate. Where is there fat? How can we cut it? Eviction. Don't pay, don't stay. You don't pay your bill, you lock them out. These are magnetic keys. You don't pay, your key is not going to work. Or if they really want to be difficult, you just call the local sheriff, come on over, kick them out. It's a very simple and easy process. Laundry, and finally, just less competition. Who out there is looking to buy these properties? Very few investors specifically. Again, it's a mom and pop business, and they're mom and pop buyers, typically of families that own hotels, usually 4 or 5 in a particular market, and they're the ones who are usually buying these properties to grow their small portfolio. But they're running all of them themselves, so they usually don't have the capacity to run more than just a few amongst the family members that run the business. You can also be passive. I mean, running a hotel is a business, it's also real estate. But for some folks, they don't want to get involved in the day-to-day aspects of running a business, because there is that component to it. So we actually offer opportunities to partner with us as we go find deals. You can invest your capital and generate the benefits of owning a hotel without all the hassle, the time, and having to have all the knowledge and understanding to do it yourself. So we really want to help anybody interested in the space, whether they want to be active or passive. Let's play Monopoly, right? Let's use none of our own money. Can you get into a hotel without using any of your own money? Absolutely, just like you can do with a house. Everything that you can do with a house, you pretty much can do with a hotel. We use the same strategies in residential and commercial. We do lease options all the time. It's great. It's a win-win. You have hotels that are very difficult to finance. The seller needs to get out. They're retiring. We can structure a lease option where you have a very small down payment. You can take over that property and lease it, and we've had opportunities to lease properties for as long as 20 years, where the seller continues to get their, the passive income that they've enjoyed as a hotel, not enjoyed, but the income that they've gotten from a hotel owner, but now they don't have to manage it. They can let you do the heavy lifting. And at the end of the day, it becomes a win-win for everybody. Obviously, you can take it subject to, in a differently structured way, but you get owner financing as well, because they want to get out. If the only way they can get out is to give you the financing to do it, generally, if they're motivated, they will be open to those types of deal structures. So it's a great way to get in. I'll give you some examples. Ocala, due diligence, there was no down payment. The property was doing so poorly, we structured it so that there was no payments for the first 4 months. We needed basically an on-ramp to stabilize the property so they could get it up and running, and it was done through a lease option. There's a McFarland family, bought a property for $1.2 million. The bank wanted the seller to stand the note. So literally the new buyer did not have to take recourse on that note. They just assumed it, but it was still the old owner that was on the hook. And they grossed over $1 million after the first full year of ownership. And again, if we're talking about valuation, even at a modest 3 times gross revenue multiplier, they just bought it for 1.2. They got $1 million track history now of income for a property. It's worth $3 million. Someone will come in and pay 3 times revenue to buy that property. They made created $1.8 million worth of equity in 1 year of ownership. San Antonio, another property was purchased through a lease option with no payments up front for 4 months. Indianapolis, lots of hotels are in areas where there's events that take place that are tremendous. Usually every market has a big event that comes in a couple times a year where you raise your revenue and you're able to create hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes even in 1 month. Because hotels, as you know, are not like rents where you can change that rent maybe once a year or once every few years when that tenant moves out. It's a fluid market. If this is, I can tell you the rates here on Saturday night at this hotel are not the same as they are typically on Monday evening, right? So you're going to adjust the rates of that property to the demand of that market during the season of that market, and you can, that way you're going to maximize the revenue that you can generate. This is a property we're doing in Columbus. We actually bought it. It was a bank foreclosure. We're all in, including $1 million rehab for $2.2 million. We purchased it for about 1.1, and we already have a buyer we're basically ready to purchase this property on an option to purchase it for the 2.95. Lease option, Tyler, Texas. This was a REO property. The bank was initially asking 4.4. It was like 150, 160 room property. They negotiated it down to 1.3. Turned it into a Magnuson. It's doing extraordinarily well. So really, it's about creating cash flow. But how can you take the time that you're investing in some other types of real estate deals, maybe residential, maybe small apartments and units, and how can you get more efficient returns of not only your time but also your money? And we really believe that hotels, when you start running the numbers and looking at what the potential is to create cash flow, is one of the best. I won't say it's the best, I don't know everything, but I know from what I do know that it's one of the best performing assets out there when they're bought and structured and deals are structured properly. So we offer a boot camp where we basically go over our business model, how we look at hotels, why we like the hotel business, how to buy them, how to structure the deals, how to fix them up, how to stabilize them, and how to exit those deals for tremendous profits. We do a 3-day boot camp. Typically it's a 2-day boot camp, and the 3rd day we're actually doing a private money guest seminar, meaning everyone comes in saying, how do I do this and how do I raise the money? Because that seems to be, it's realistic to understand how am I going to put this deal together. And so on the 3rd day, after we taught you how to buy, how to structure and put together deals, we bring in our SEC attorney, the folks that we use to structure our PPM to how to raise money through a private placement. I mean, this woman charges $300 an hour, and she's going to be speaking for probably 3 to 4 hours to you specifically on what a PPM is, how do you syndicate, what do you need to do, who do you need to talk to, how do you market to investors. We also have credit line folks that are going to be speaking to us about building large lines of business credit. We've had, in the past, we've had hard money lenders come in who specifically lend to the hotel industry, as well as crowdfunding platforms that can help you pull the money together. And finally, just network with other folks that have a similar focus and goal of buying hotels. And we found a lot of our people that we put together in a room end up working together and taking down deals themselves. This is basically what we do in days 1 and 2. I won't go into it. If you want, you can go over it in person. And days 3, again, PPM, SEC attorney, alternate lending sources, how to position yourself for massive lines of business credit. And we answer all your questions. They're very intimate, probably no more than the number of people in this room. This is not a 150, 200 room auditorium. It's very intimate, and we really cover a tremendous amount of material in a very, very short amount of time. So typically we charge 2 days is $497, and we've had our private money seminar as a separate seminar that was 2 days that we charged a lot more than $100. But it prices $597 per person. However, we have a discount that's literally just for today. We have a small room in Vegas, so I know it's going to fill up relatively quickly. It's $197 for 2 people. So you, a guest, a spouse, someone who you think of like mind that wants to learn more about this particular business. I mean, for $197 coming to Vegas for a few days, I guarantee you you'll get your money's worth. It's I mean, you'll probably have your head spinning afterwards, but that's a good thing, right? You got to dive into the deep end if you want to learn how to swim. So you can register today. You can come speak to me afterwards if you have any questions. I will. My booth, my table is right out front. I'll give you my card. You can email us, call me. Come to this event. It really is. It literally changed my business career, and I would probably still be doing residential if I hadn't heard this similar presentation, and I'm very glad that I did. So that's it for me. If anyone has any questions, I know I got to move on because the next speaker's coming in.
Just one stupid question.
Yes.
Airbnb, is it plus or minus for your business?
Yeah, you know, it hasn't really affected our business. We are a extended stay business that's catering to the Walmart of hotel guests, okay? So we like to consider ourselves the Walmart of hotels. So yes, B&B, I'm sure at some level it's affecting us, but in terms of the occupancies that we're seeing, and I can tell you from the national reports we've seen on the growth of the extended stay market, it's not making it down. We're still seeing year-over-year growth.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to say I've known Doug for, oh my gosh, how long now? 7 years?
7, 8 years, easy,
7, 8
easy.
years. And I have seen his transformation from wholesaling, single-family houses, and now he's doing commercial deals, hotel deals, and I just want to say I'm so proud of you, Doug. I think you're doing a great job, and for me, it's awesome to see your growth and your progression as an investor, so I just wanted to make a note of that.
Oh,
Yes.
Most of these deals, like, you know, you live on the property, you have an investor, he wants to make cash flow, so.
well, usually the investors that are buying deals are not managing them themselves. If someone wants to buy a hotel, in fact, most of the owners of these types of hotels live in them. It's not just a business, it's their home. Their families live in these properties behind the front desk in a manager's suite.
Right.
So that's very common. But as investors, we know that getting into the business is not the most efficient way to do business. We want to manage the business and manage the manager that runs the business. And that's typically how it works. We'll have a manager, keep track of the manager, we know what's going on, and if we have to go to the property, we go to the property. But it's not something that's consuming us on a daily basis. All right, awesome.
And like he says, he's going to be right outside.
I'll be right outside.
If you want to run out there and spend time with him, he's going to be there.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate your time.
You can just pull it out.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's not going to blow up your computer,
Yeah.
smoke, flames.
Yeah.
It's just a computer. That's right.